Welcome to this lunar eclipse live event in this lunar living section of the group. We're going to be focusing on today what this eclipse means for spiritual entrepreneurs. And we're going to really be digging into that because it's not just, I'm not just saying that because my main focus is spiritual entrepreneurs. Yeah, I'm recording. I had a little. Let me make sure because I know. Yeah, I am because I started it before. I'm just restarting it. So so yeah, I'm not just saying that this lunar eclipse has a connection um with spiritual entrepreneurs because that's what I talk about. It really does have a connection with spiritual entrepreneurs, and I'm going to break that down. So, what we're going to be talking about today is the astrology of the lunar eclipse. We're going to be talking about what the lunar eclipse means for each rising sign. We're going to be working in the lunar eclipse tarot spread that I made. It mainly focuses on shadow work, and that's I love doing the shadow work. So it's mainly focusing on shadow work and some self coaching questions that can help you get a deeper understanding of how this lunar eclipse is going to help you, especially as a spiritual entrepreneur. And then after that, we're going to be focusing on two systems, and every week for the next 4 weeks we're going to be focusing on two systems in our business that we might need to audit and see if they need any refinement or perfecting in our business. So while the sun is in Virgo, while it's Virgo season and we're in the energy of refining and perfecting and organizing and all that, we're going to go ahead and just focus on this for the next 4 weeks. All right, so let's get into the astrology. We're going to get into the astrology of this lunar eclipse. Okay, so let's talk about some of the meanings of Pisces since the lunar eclipse is in the zodiac sign Pisces. What does the zodiac sign Pisces mean? It has a strong connection with things that aren't seen. So it has a strong connection with angels, um, with spirit guides, with ancestors. And I'm going to talk more about ancestors in a minute. But it has that connection of, um, just things that you aren't seeing. That's why it has a strong connection uh, with spiritual entrepreneurs, I feel. And it has a connection with dreams. And I noticed I got Martin Luther King on and he had a dream. So I just kept him on. And so yeah, a strong connection with dreams and just all things spiritual, things that are, and there's also a connection with creativity and spirituality. So there's that connection there, like deep creativity and deep imagination. That's what Pisces has a strong connection with. Um, so there's a fixed star in the zodiac sign Pisces, and it's at the same degree as this full moon. So the full moon is at 4 degrees of Pisces, and this fixed star is also at 4 degrees of Pisces. And the fixed star is, uh, I gotta break it down, Fomalhaut, Fomalhaut, and it's spelled Fomalhaut. Okay, and it's one of the four um regal fixed stars. And it's not directly looking at the fixed star Regulus. It's about a 4 or 5. So Regulus is at 0 degrees in Virgo right now. So about a 4 degree difference in between them. Um, but the energy of them kind of looking at each other is still there, especially with the sun and Mercury being in the Nakshatra Magha, and I'm going to talk about that. But anyway, this fixed star Fomalhaut is what I'm going to call it for right now. Is it has a strong connection with celebrities who are extremely creative, extremely scientific, and extremely spiritual. Okay. And so it's really unlocking our creativity, our scientific energies within us, and our spiritual activities within us. So we might notice, I think I've noticed, if you have any psychic abilities, if you're connected to your clairs in any way, if you do tarot, if you're a medium, you might notice that building up to this lunar eclipse, you got um a little bit more juice on you. Like you like might be a little bit tap into your psychic abilities a little bit more during this time, because that's the connection with Pisces. If you do any type of magic, I know Pisces is the sign that's connected to high magic, and it's not just Pisces, it's Virgo too, because there's these axes they're different, but they're the same. So Virgo and Pisces are connected to like deep high magic. So this is a time to make sure that you're releasing, because this lunar eclipse is still about releasing, but you're releasing anything that can block or block or suppress your magic in any way right now. So this is manifestation, your thoughts, if you're actually doing like spells or workings or anything like that, it's a good time to make sure that you're releasing what could be blocking any of that right now. And you got that for free because I wasn't even thinking about that, but that just came to me. Um, okay, so that's that fixed star. Then we have a asteroid called Diana, and this asteroid is retrograde. And Diana is, in mythology, she was a like master hunter. I wanted to call her a huntress, but she's just a hunter. And so this asteroid has a lot to do with being the hunter and being hunted. And we want to make sure, because it's retrograde, that we aren't putting ourselves in the energy of victim mode and allowing ourselves to feel like the things that have been hunting us, um, things that have been hunting us, like since it's retrograde, we're going inward. So it could be things like we're going inward, so it could be things like addictions, and I'm going to talk about this more with what the eclipse means. So it could be things like addictions, it could be things like habits, it could be things like bad thoughts, like thoughts, subconscious thoughts that are keeping us from where we need to be. It could be people, it could be circumstances, but we want to make sure that we are putting ourselves in the energy of the hunter and not the energy of feeling like a victim and being hunted by the things that are keeping us from being successful in our spiritual businesses. Okay. So the nakshatra that the full moon is in is called Shatabhisha. And so I'm talking about nakshatras because I do Vedic astrology, and I also use tropical astrology. So I mostly focus on the nakshatras because they have a really deep meaning for me. And so even though I have been talking about not traditional, but I have been talking about Western astrology, I always look at what nakshatra the planets are in. Okay. And because that means a lot. And so the lunar eclipse, the moon is in the nakshatra Shatabhisha. And Shatabhisha is known as the nakshatra of 100 healers. Okay. Now, so this is important because it supports the meaning of the eclipse, because with the eclipse, we can eclipse out things in our lives that are hard for us to get rid of, like those habits, like those addictions, like those circumstances that you're tired of experiencing, like those, relationships, or just the like subconscious thoughts, like I was saying. And that's the same goes for this Nakshatra Shatabhisha. It represents 100 healers because it helps us deal with things that could be so hard to deal with, so hard to heal, that it could take 100 healers to come together, get in the circle, because it's a circle, the symbol of a circle connected to it, that to actually help us overcome and heal this thing. So there's a lot of energy for us as spiritual entrepreneurs to finally eclipse out and get rid of the negative things that could be affecting our spiritual business, and we can move forward. Okay. So the next thing is, there are, according to traditional astrology, Vedic astrology, the sign of Pisces is ruled by Jupiter and Ketu, or the south node of the moon. So Jupiter is 6 houses away from the lunar eclipse, from the full moon, in the zodiac sign Leo. And so is Ketu, the south node of the moon. So what does 6 houses away mean? 6 houses away it represents our daily work routine. So that's another reason why we're really focusing on our systems and our processes, and making sure we're perfecting and refining them, and eclipsing out things that could be negatively affecting them. So we're focusing on our daily work routine, and we're also focusing on our obstacles and our challenges, because that's also what 6 houses away means, or the 6th house means, our obstacles and our challenges. Okay. And with K2 being there, K2 likes to cut away. It likes to get rid of the things that we're experiencing that are not for our highest good. Okay. So there's another energy of getting rid of what's blocking us. Okay. So that is why I was talking about blocking out, eclipsing what's blocking our business. And I kind of already talked about what the connection of the eclipse means, but I'll go a little bit deeper into it. What's creating this eclipse is Rahu, or the north node of the moon, being so close to the moon. So that's at 29 degrees of Aquarius. And Aquarius is a sign that signals evolution and revolution, and like drastic change. And so there is a drastic change, a drastic evolution and revolution that we can experience in our business, but we have to eclipse out whatever is blocking it. And so with Rahu being there and creating it, making it so it's creating a big shadow, to where we can only see a small percentage of the moon, is reminding us that these things can be eclipsed out. And for our evolution, for our revolution. Okay. So let's move to the sun and Mercury being directly opposite of the moon. So the sun and Mercury have similar meanings. So they are the sun is like at 4 degrees and Mercury is at like 5 degrees. And so they have similar meanings. And also, there's so many asteroids I just named the ones that were important to me. But in Virgo, around Virgo, there are so many asteroids that represent business and money. And just that, I can't even name them all, that it'll start being redundant. But if you have the time, you can do the research yourself and look at all the asteroids that are connected to the sun and Virgo right now, around the same degree. And that just is another layer of confirmation for me that this is a perfect time to be focusing on business and money, especially when it comes to spiritual entrepreneurs. So the connection that Mercury and the sun have is um, is health. So this is a good time for healers, like I said, and it's a good time for healing. But there's a connection in managing, okay? It's a connection in speaking, and it's a connection in what it's managing and it's healing, and it's speaking. So Mercury is exalted. So Mercury loves being in the zodiac sign Virgo. So it's even stronger for us to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to make sure all our systems are flowing in the way that they need to flow and going in the way that they need to go, so that we can make sure that we are um on top of our businesses. Okay. The another thing with the sun and Mercury is they're in the nakshatra Magha. And Magha has a lot to do with leadership. So that's another connection that the sun has with this. It's a strong connection with leadership. And there's also a connection with Magha that has a lot to do with our ancestors. So right now, especially because, I'm into hoodoo. So the main focuses of hoodoo is making sure that we honor and venerate our ancestors, our elevated ancestors. So I believe that if we could connect with our elevated ancestors who were leaders in the way that we want to, or we aspire to be leaders right now, I think that would be a good idea. And all we have to do is honor and ask. That's all we have to do, to connect with these ancestors. And I believe that they will help us to they'll help us and guide us in wisdom and direction in all this, especially during this time when the veil is thinning, it's becoming thinner and thinner. So now is a good time. If you're not venerating your ancestors, make sure you're doing that now. Um, and if you haven't done it in a while, make sure you're getting on it right now, because it's especially leading up to it getting thinner and thinner. This is a good time to start, and not just do it for right now during the lunar eclipse or during this full moon, but go ahead and make sure you start that and keep it going, especially for the next few months. Okay. So that's basically the astrology. And then I'm going to get into the rising signs. So if you are Aries in your first house, then the obstacle that you might be experiencing, what needs to be eclipsed out of your business, it could be something that is hidden because it's in the 12th house. And the 12th house represents things that aren't seen. So it's going to be really important for you to do some meditating, get into some divination if that's something that you already get into, or maybe you might need help from a reader. But whatever could be sabotaging your business could be something that is subconscious, it could be deep, and it could be something that is like deeply hidden. So it's important for you to lock in. And the 12th house has a lot to do with isolation. So make sure that you're meditating and spending that time with yourself to really get in touch with what could be blocking your business. The 12th house also has a connection to hidden enemies. So sometimes the hidden enemy is your own thinking, your own subconscious thinking, but sometimes the hidden enemy is a relationship, someone that you might know, um, or somebody that you don't know that that is throwing some stuff at you that you need to block and get out of there. So it's going to take a lot of meditation for you, Aries rising, to identify what you need to block. If you have Taurus in the first house, then the lunar eclipse and the full moon is in your 11th house. And what you might need to eclipse out of your business, it has a lot to do with, because Pisces has a connection with not really being clear, not really being able to see things clearly, or or you being in some type of fog. Okay. So when it comes to your earnings, because that's another connection to the 11th house, you might not be clear on what you need to do to earn money in your business. So you might need to block out what's stopping you from being clear on what you need to earn or how you need to earn in your business. Another thing, if you have Taurus in your first house, that you might need to eclipse out of your business is the wrong associations, the wrong groups of people. Um, those are things that you might need to eclipse out, because the 11th house is large groups of people, our associates, people we associate with. It's also our earnings. The 11th house also represents our dreams and wishes. So it could be, again, the issue of not being able to see things clearly. Maybe you can't clearly identify what your vision is for your spiritual business. Maybe you can't clearly see what your dreams and wishes are for your business. So whatever's blocking you from that clarity that you need, that's what needs to be eclipsed out. Okay. So Gemini, rising Gemini in the first house. Um, the lunar eclipse, the full moon, is going to be in your 10th house. The 10th house is your public identity and your public image. So what might need to be eclipsed out for you is maybe being unclear about your brand's image or your brand's identity. Maybe that's is that you need to get clearer on how you want your brand or your business to show up to your audience or to the public or to the world. Okay. So it's really going to be important to sit down and clearly identify um, what your brand foundation is and then how you want to be seen. And yeah, it is colors. It's colors, it's fonts, it's stuff like that, but you have to have a deeper understanding of your brand voice, how you want your brand to be heard and seen and experienced and all that. Get really clear on that. And you might have to go back and have a understanding of who you are, if you to get a deeper understanding of how you want your brand to be shown up. So this could be a very reflective time for you. Okay. So if you have Cancer in the ninth house, and my moon is in Cancer, so every time I get to this, I have a a strong connection to it. So if you have Cancer in your first house, if you have Cancer rising, then you want to focus on your beliefs about yourself as an entrepreneur and your ability to bring in the wealth, to bring in the money that you want to bring in for your business. Because the lunar eclipse, the full moon is going to be in your ninth house. And the ninth house focuses on your beliefs. It focuses on you as a teacher, you as a guru. Do you see yourself? Do you actually believe that that's who you are? Because you have to really, it's like really walking into it. And there is an aspect of faking it till you make it, but also it's deeper than that. It's actually moving forward because okay, so the ninth house has a connection to Jupiter, and Jupiter represents long distance travel. The ninth house is connected to the zodiac sign Sagittarius. And with Sagittarius, it's the half man, half horse, or half god, half horse. And one of the main themes of that is moving forward because it represents long distance travel too, right? So you want to make sure that whatever your beliefs are, you're moving forward in them. And so, like I said, it's deeper than just faking it till you make it. It's really getting in touch with who you believe you are as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a spiritual teacher, as a guru, and moving forward with that. And really blocking out when you're moving forward, you can't look behind you. So you're blocking out what other people's beliefs about who you think you should be or what you think you should say, because the ninth house also has a connection with publishing. Okay. So you want to make sure that one way that you can move forward in the beliefs about yourself as a spiritual entrepreneur is to get your stuff out there. So what could be blocking you from believing what you need to believe about yourself as a spiritual entrepreneur? What could be blocking you from walking in those beliefs? And what could be blocking you from showing your audience that that's what you believe by publishing what you who you believe you are and getting that out there? Okay. So moving on to, if you have Leo in the eighth house, or if you have a Leo moon, a financial obstacle. No, not in the eighth house. Let me go back. If you have Leo in the first house, or if you have a Leo moon, this could connect with you. Because the lunar eclipse and the lunar eclipse and the full moon are going to be in your eighth house of shared income or shared resources. So the eighth house is a money house. It's also an extremely transformational house. So Leo rising or Leo moon, this is going to be a transformational time for you. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're blocking out a financial obstacle, shared resource, debt, or unclear money agreement is what could be in the way. Okay. So getting clear on any connection with you and your money, especially when it has to do with other people. So what you might need to block out is, or eclipse out, is what could be blocking you from making money with other people. Okay, so that could be partnerships. It could be, it could be partnerships. It could be working together to share ideas. It could be working together in, any aspect, because there's a whole bunch of ways that we can work together right now. So what could be blocking you from reaching out and working with other people? That's something that you want to think about. And also, like, what could be keeping you from taking care of your debts, or what could be keeping you from I don't want to get too deep, but the eighth house has a connection to like chronic illnesses. Okay. So for some of us, it could be chronic illnesses that are that could have a block on us, that could be blocking us in some way. And we just might need to do some shadow work around how can we either heal this, or how can we make sure that it doesn't stop us from being the spiritual entrepreneurs that we need to be. Okay. So if you are Virgo rising or a Virgo moon, then the lunar eclipse or the full moon is going to be in your seventh house. And the seventh house is about relationships. The seventh house is about business. It's about partnerships. So if you have Virgo in your first house, then this lunar eclipse here could really force you to look at your relationships and your business as a whole to see what needs to be eclipsed out there. Um, so there's a big need to make sure that you are taking the time, because this is going to take some time. It's going to take some reflection. It's going to take some accountability, and it's going to take you being honest with yourself about your business, your partnerships, and your relationships, and how they could be negatively affecting your spiritual business or the money that you bring in for your spiritual business. Um, so if you are Libra rising or have your moon in Libra, then the theme of what I'm talking about really affects you, because the lunar eclipse is actually going to be in your sixth house. So the sixth house, again, that's your daily work routine. It's your health, it's healing, it's your challenges, it's your obstacles, it's your debts. It's open enemies. It's not hidden enemies, it's open enemies. It has a lot to do with court. So if you're Libra rising, what do you need to be eclipsing out that has a lot to do with that? But you want to make sure that you're focusing on your time. The sixth house and Virgo has a strong connection with making sure you're in control of time management. Okay. With Virgo, time is extremely important. So if you have Libra in your sixth house, that means that if you have Libra rising, that means the lunar eclipse, the full moon, is in your sixth house, which that puts the sun and Mercury in your 12th house of loss. And the 12th house is extremely important because you have to tap into the energy that's in your 12th house. Because if you don't, then you can actually lose there. So because you have Virgo in your 12th house, Libra rising, you want to make sure that you are investing in time management. You want to make sure that you're investing in your health and your healing, that you're investing in knowing who your enemies are and protecting yourself from them. You want to make sure that you're investing in those things. So if you're investing, you're not experiencing loss. So if you're actively investing in those things, then you won't experience loss from time getting away from you, or having a loss of time, or experiencing obstacles because you didn't invest in your health and experiencing loss in that way. Okay. So you want to make sure you're investing in those things. There's also a connection with Now I'm focusing on the sun in your 12th house, when I should be focusing on the moon in your 6th house, but they all work together. But you want to make sure that you're also with Libra, you have to have that balance, right? So you want to make sure that you're balancing yourself as a spiritual entrepreneur with your family, because Virgo has also a strong connection to family or some type of family unit. Okay. So you want to make sure you are investing in your family and also balancing as much as you can um in eclipsing out anything that could be blocking you as a spiritual entrepreneur. So I know that was a lot, but I had to give it as it was coming because it was coming fast. So all right, if you are Scorpio rising or have your moon in Scorpio, well, that means that the lunar eclipse, the full moon, is going to be in your 5th house of creative self-expression. And you want to make sure that you don't allow doubt to come in and stop you from expressing yourself in the way that you need to. Because again, Pisces has this effect on us to kind of make us blind to the gifts that we have in whatever house that is in. So if you're Scorpio rising with Pisces being in your 5th house, we could be blind to how gifted we are when it comes to creative self-expression. You could be blind to um, to see how you connect with people and how important it is. So just make sure that you don't doubt yourself, because your gifts, just like you, are deep, with Pisces being there, because Pisces represents the deepest part of the ocean. Your gifts are going to be deep. And because they're so deep, it can make you doubt them or kind of make you want to keep them isolated or keep them to yourself. But you have to make sure that you're expressing those gifts with Pisces in the 5th house, no matter how deep they are. Um, so yeah, make sure you're doing that with Pisces in the 5th house. And so you're blocking out anything that could keep you, you're eclipsing out anything that could keep you from confidently expressing yourself or expressing your gifts with Scorpio in your 1st house, or Scorpio if you have your moon in Scorpio. All right, going on to Sagittarius rising. Okay, Sagittarius rising, you have the full moon, the lunar eclipse in your 4th house. Okay, so the 4th house, it has a connection with our family and our family's roots. So that goes back to ancestors and the patterns that we experience in our families. And so we want to make sure that we're eclipsing out. If you're Sagittarius rising or if you have a Sagittarius moon, you're eclipsing out. I want to make sure I'm saying this so it don't seem like I'm saying eclipse out your family or block out your family, because that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is any connection to anything that has to do with your family that could be blocking out how you move as a spiritual entrepreneur. You or any patterns that you have experienced or seen in your family that could be blocking you as a spiritual entrepreneur, or how you bring in money as a spiritual entrepreneur. You want to do some deep reflecting on that. It could be subconscious patterns, ways that you guys think as a family, or it could be how they feel about you as a spiritual entrepreneur, or how they feel about you making money as a spiritual entrepreneur. So you want to make sure that you're eclipsing out anything familial that could be blocking you as a spiritual entrepreneur. Okay, moving on to Capricorn rising, which is your girl. Okay, so I'm Capricorn rising. And so with Capricorn rising, you have Pisces in your third house of communication. And also, your third house is where you want to put your efforts and your skills, um, where you want to put effort into things. Um, and your third house is, yeah, it's communication. So you want to make sure, as a spiritual entrepreneur, whatever it is that's on your heart right now, that you don't block it out yourself. Like whatever could be stopping you from communicating, whatever it is that you want to communicate right now, as a spiritual entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you are not allowing anything to block you from doing that. Something else I should have said about the fixed star Fomalhaut. I know I'm saying it the way I want to say it. I'm pronouncing it the way that's coming natural to me. Is it has a connection with the Archangel Gabriel. And the Archangel Gabriel is all about true and honest written and verbal communication, or any type of communication. So to honor where this fixed star is in your third house of communication, you want to make sure that you're honoring yourself and you're honoring the lunar eclipse, the full moon, your business, and your audience by making sure your communication is true and it's honest. Okay. So you want to eclipse out anything that could be blocking you from providing that type of communication, or anything that could be blocking you from putting effort into your skills. That's what you need to block out or eclipse out. Anything that could be blocking you from putting effort into your skills. All right. So next is Aquarius rising. Okay. If you have Aquarius in your first house, then it's going to be important for us to look at the second house, because that means the lunar eclipse is in your second house of money and value. So you're going to want to look at your sales strategy. Okay. Oh, that's one of the things you're going to want to look at. If you don't have a sales strategy, what could be blocking you from creating a sales strategy? You want to be looking at how you see your value as a spiritual entrepreneur and your value and your ability to bring in the money that you want. Because you want to block out what is blocking your ability to see your value or your ability to walk in your value. Your financial fears could be in your way. So you also want to make sure that you're reflecting on not reflecting on the poverty mindset, but making sure the poverty mindset isn't getting in your way. You make sure you're eclipsing out the poverty mindset, identifying what could be blocking your value, and take a really good look at your sales strategy. All right. So last but not least is Pisces rising. So if you have Pisces in your first house, this lunar eclipse is really going to be important for you, because the first house represents our life. The first house represents our health. The first house represents our identity, our personalities. It's really an overall snapshot of our entire chart. Some people can do full-blown readings and be really accurate just by looking at your first house, because looking at your first house, you can know everything it is to know about you. Okay. So you want to look at your life or you want to look at your whole business, but you want to start with your life and see what could be blocking you. What do you need to eclipse out that could be blocking how you see yourself as a spiritual entrepreneur and how you see yourself and your ability to draw in money. You want to get extremely clear on who you are, because Pisces, like I said, it makes us blind to the gifts that we have in the house that it's in. So with it being in the first house, and we're dealing with shadows, with the eclipse creating a shadow, we're going to have to go deep within to make sure that we have a strong level of clarity on who we are as individuals and who we are as spiritual entrepreneurs. Okay. There's a lot of cycles that are ending for Pisces and Virgo right now, because the North Node and the South Node just moved out of your houses. So there's going to be a lot of reflection on what they were doing while they were there, what message were they trying to give to you while they were there, and just reflecting on that. Okay. So that seemed like a lot. Let me drink some coffee. All right. So now I'm going to move into the shadow work, or the tarot spread that I made for this lunar eclipse. So it's 7 cards, and let me get over here real quick. Oh no, that's not it. All right, it's 7 cards in this spread, and they go in sections. First, we're looking at like what's blocking out our financial success. Then the cards move to like identifying how you need to perfect your spiritual gift. And then it moves into how do you refine your daily work routine. So this is a tarot spread, but you can also use these questions to help you do shadow work or to help you journal. Um, I just also use tarot. So okay, so card number 1 is the hidden block. So this is where we identify what is truly blocking the financial success of your spiritual business. And this is where you do some reflection on that, and some questions that you can ask yourself for self-coaching is, what would it actually take to end this rather than just managing around it? And we're talking about the block. Oh, no, I skipped down. Yeah, so with the hidden block on card 1, some self-coaching questions you can ask yourself is, if this block had a name, what would you call it? Okay. Now we're getting serious, we're getting honest, we're getting accountable. Another self-coaching question you can ask yourself with this hidden block card is, what's one concrete way that has cost you money or opportunity in the last month because of this hidden block? All right. And the last one with the hidden block is, what have you been telling yourself this block is about that might not be true? Okay. So that's the first card, or the first question that you could ask yourself. And the second card is, what must be eclipsed? What specifically needs to be eclipsed, ended, or eclipsed out completely for money to move freely towards you? So I wanted to make sure that I gave you your rising signs first so you can have at least some type of direction or some type of light bulb moment as to what could be blocking or what needs to be eclipsed out. But when you ask yourself, things could get even more detailed about what needs to be eclipsed out. And some self coaching questions you can ask yourself about what must be eclipsed is, what would it actually take to end this rather than just manage around it? Okay. Or who or what benefits from this staying in place? Another self-coaching question you can ask yourself is, what are you afraid would happen if what needs to be fully eclipsed out was actually fully gone? Okay, no more excuses. No more excuses in the way that we can use. All right. So now we're moving on to card 3 is where your gift stands right now, your spiritual gift. Okay. So for me, when I was doing this, when I was going through this reading for myself, I had to identify because some of us have more than one spiritual gift. So you might want to first kind of identify what is the spiritual gift that you want to perfect the most, or maybe you want to allow the cards or you reflecting in journaling to bring up which spiritual gift that you want to focus on the most right now. So the question is where your gift stands. What is the current honest state of your spiritual gift right now? Is it strong? Is it neglected? Is it underdeveloped? Or is something else going on with it? Okay. There's something else going on with it. That's always important. And some coaching questions you can ask yourself is, when did you last actively practice or sharpen this gift versus just using it on autopilot? What part of this gift do you trust fully, and what part do you still doubt? That one kind of hit me hard when I was doing that. Not in a bad way, but in a good way, because there was a point in time where, when you're just starting to learn your gifts and you like, don't step fully out there, or you have some reservations about, should I say this or should I say that, you know, and I was in that phase for a while. And then I'm just now realizing, like in the last year, especially in the last year, because of so many things that have gone on with my life, that I'm not in that phase of my gift anymore to where I'm second guessing or don't have confidence in what I'm saying with tarot or astrology or what I'm, receiving through mediumship, that it's exactly what it is. And so I had to acknowledge that I've moved up a level. So I really appreciate that question was there. Um so where were we at? Yeah. What part do you still doubt? Okay, the last self-reflecting question is, if a client could see this gift exactly as it stands today, what would they notice? Okay, more honesty we need to get into. What would the client notice if they could see your spiritual gift as it is right now? Okay, now card number 4 is the refinement needed. What specific practice, skill, or discipline will perfect and sharpen this gift going forward? What specific practice, skill, or discipline will perfect and sharpen this gift going forward? So the self-coaching for that is, what's one concrete skill building action available to you this month? Who or what could mentor, teach, or refine you further in this specific area? What's the gap between where your gift is now and where it needs to be to fully support your income? All right. And section 3. Now we're into the daily work routine, and we're going to be doing a lot more there. We're doing a little bit more. So the card number 5, or the fifth question, is what's not working? Where is your daily work routine currently failing to support your spiritual business? Now we're going to be focusing on this for the next 4 weeks. But just to kick things off so you have a clear idea of what you need to focus on, some of the self coaching questions are: walk through yesterday. Okay. Where did time or energy leak away from what actually matters? What task do you repeat daily that isn't actually moving your business forward? And what's the difference between being busy and being productive in your current routine? All right. Card 7, or question 7, is the system to build. What structure or system needs to be put in place to refine and support your daily work routine? The self-coaching questions are: what's the smallest version of this system that you can start this week, not someday? Okay. And what would need to be true for you to actually stick with this system consistently? And who or what could help you maintain this structure so it doesn't depend on willpower alone? And that's the main reason why I like to create systems. So the days that my mind and my energy is not there, I can just look look at my checklist. Okay, let me see what you say again. Part 5 was repeated for me in this reading. Oh, okay. So it was, or my main focus card. Because I was really trying to get the message across. The message was, do what matters even when excitement is absent. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do what matters even when excitement is absent. And that came up twice. Yep. So let me see. What was 5? What was 5? Did I just say? What's not working? Oh, so not working. What's not working for you could be trying to rely on what excites you, doing the work depending on what excites you. So that could be what's not working for you. Okay. What other position did that come up at? You said it's repeated. Where else did that come up at?
Can I just
Okay.
come off mute?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So that card, just to point out as well that I use the I Ching cards, and for me,
Uh-huh.
it was card number hexagram number 16, which is enthusiasm, and it first came out for card 1, which is the underlying financial pattern.
Uh-huh.
And then like I need to direct my
Oh.
enthusiasm needs direction. Yeah, so you know me, I'm always trying to move to different things, and so it needs a direction of where am I actually going. And then it came up for card which I just mentioned, which was card 5, which is what is not supporting the work. And so
Mm.
where does my current routine fail to protect time and energy? And that is again about being enthusiastic about things and not sticking to in thing, and that always being here, there, and everywhere. So that was ironic that you said what you said there, and then because I used
Uh-huh.
the the shadow is indifference. So, and then the gift is versatility. So I've got to be versatile about the work that I do so that it will help me financially and then also help me for my current routines as well. So I had to smile when I saw that. I was like, okay, yeah, that
That's
makes
interesting.
mm,
Yeah. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
no, go.
Um, because I was just thinking about the word excitement and the word indifferent. Um, and how they're like they're saying don't depend on excitement, but then your shadow, how you know if you're in your shadow is if you're like indifferent to something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but I feel for when it comes to the I Ching, you really have to sit down and contemplate the words and look at, all right, what does indifference mean in terms of a shadow? And so that's the thing that I have to sit with and see where do I feel like I'm being indifferent and what is causing me to be in my shadow and where am I? So I need to look at that word when I'm doing the
Hmm.
coaching questions and seeing, okay, what does that actually mean for me? And yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's really interesting.
yeah, so I'll keep you posted. I'll put it in the community as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Okay. Okay. So, wow. Okay. Um, Now I didn't get this far for myself, so I still have to do 6 and 7 for myself. The system to build. What structure or system needs to be put in place to refine and support your daily work routine? So, what's the smallest version of this system you could start this week, not someday? What needs to be true for you to actually stick with this system consistently? And who or what could help you maintain the structure so it doesn't depend on willpower alone? Yeah, I just said that and why I like systems. Okay, and the last card is the blessing. So what would be the outcome if we are taking care of those three things? If we're perfecting our gifts, if we are refining our daily work routine, if we're eclipsing out what's blocking us as spiritual entrepreneurs, if we eclipse out what's blocking our money, what would be the outcome? And that's what the seventh card is about. So, some self coaching questions that you can ask yourself is, what would you need to see happen to know this blessing had actually arrived? So the second question is, what's one way to track progress on all three fronts over the next 6 months rather than waiting to notice it in hindsight? So Virgo is about it's a part of Virgo in Vedic astrology. There's a nakshatra called Hasta, and it's represented by the hand, and it's about being in control. It's about controlling things. It's about manipulating things. And so this line of questioning is just reminding me of what I said in the beginning. Oh, somebody got their hand up. Is that old or new? I think I saw that.
That's new, but continue what you're doing and I'll talk
Oh,
afterwards because it also means as well.
okay. um, so it's about making sure with what I was talking about with the asteroid Diana being in retrograde and being at the same degree as this full moon today is we're making sure that we are the hunter and not being hunted, that we're taking control of our businesses and not being passive and just letting them happen and using the excuse of, well, it's just a spiritual business. And, I'm letting God or I'm letting the universe just do with it what it wants to do. But okay, he God gave us the authority over our business. God gave us the control over our business. So we have to make sure that we are wielding that control and not being passive. So making sure that you have a clear way to know, oh, this is how I know I'm going to reach my goal. And not saying, well, I'm going to look at my goal each each month for the next 6 months. And I need to be seeing this, I need to be seeing that. And not just saying, I've been reflecting over my business the last year, and I think, that's more passive, and that's just letting things happen. We have the control. And I love this, the Nakshatra has that part of Virgo that's all about um taking control, and it's all about wielding your skill, like using your skill, not like a weapon, but knowing how to use your skill, knowing how to manipulate your skill, um and just being in control of it. I love it. So that's a strong part of Virgo, where the Sun and Mercury are right now. Okay, so the last self-coaching question um in this is, what are you willing to commit to now, while the insight from this reading or this shadow work or journaling session is still fresh? Okay. All right. So that's the end of that. Okay, Andrew, do you still want to say something?
Yes, please. So,
All
as a
right.
I'm excited. So, as a Virgo with like a Virgo stellium in the 10th house, I feel like this is a
Okay.
very powerful time for me. And out of all the 7 cards, the two cards came out for me. The I Ching cards came out when I did the seventh card pull, and it was card number 31, and it's about clear having, and you mentioned the word clearer as well, like having clearer leadership create stronger influence. And so what that basically means is that, like, I don't need to force attention, but having a clearer positioning and stronger relationships will increase my influence. So really just owning,
Mhm.
I took that as like owning um owning the work that I do, which is a hexagram 31 is also part of my chart as well, which is about leadership. And then the other card that came out was hexagram 33, which is, sorry about that, back less activity equal greater intention. So growth comes through becoming more selective and removing unnecessary commitments, distractions, and demands that create space for stronger work. And it also ties into what I mentioned in the previous card, hexagram 16, about not not being over enthusiastic, and not having too many shiny objects basically. So that's
Right.
that's what all of this basically tied into me, is that being mindful. Well, the mindfulness was one of the gifts as well, being mindful about what I'm doing, and taking my leadership seriously, in terms of not leadership
Hmm.
hierarchy, but being a leader in the field and the work that I do, and owning that, and owning my spiritual entrepreneurship, which I don't really do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you being a healer.
All right, bye. But you know what? It's funny you say that, because I think I saw a meme and it said the exact same thing. It's like the universe is really, yeah, trying to hit home on that part about being the healer. Yeah, we'll speak about that another time, because that would be a whole other session. But
Right. Right. Oh, yeah, no problem, Nisha. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you were able to come in today. I really appreciate that. Is there anything you wanted to say before I move on to the next section of this?
Just that I feel like everything that you're saying is really resonating with me, and everything that I'm experiencing, and I can feel the shifts like on the horizon, almost as if I'm on the edge and I
Hmm.
just need to keep going. You
Right.
talked earlier about not looking backwards. And then, going into what are the actual daily practices that I'm engaging in that
Hmm.
are supporting me or preventing me from moving forward in my business. And, just getting clear, like more clear about everything. And so, yeah, it's all resonating.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Because you're welcome, because you are Pisces rising, getting clear is like your main objective for like the next couple weeks, you know, and probably has been for the last couple weeks. Um, like
Yes.
just getting clear because Rahu just moved, or the north node of the moon just moved out of your first house, and it creates a shadow. Like it's a connection to smoke and like just things not being clear when it's already in Pisces, which already makes things unclear. So now that he's out of there, you know, you can you can have a chance to sit back and think like, you know, what the next step is. So it definitely ended some cycles is for you and anybody else who
Yeah.
has, you know, Pisces rising. So yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's a journey. It's a journey.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So that is that part, but and I want to know if I'm giving y'all too much information because I'm about to give you some more information. So this is a new group and I'm just now, you know, doing this new thing and I like to give information but I don't want to give too much. So but um I do want to focus on auditing our systems that we use in our daily work routines for the next 4 weeks. And that's what I was talking about in the beginning. And the two systems that I want to focus on today are, and I don't think this is going to take any more than like 20 minutes. But the two systems I want to focus on today, this is kind of like a checklist, are our client journey and our service delivery. Okay. So here we go. Um, do Okay, here's a checklist. Is I have a clear, repeatable process for how a client moves from first contact to completed service. Okay, we want to make sure that's checked off for this week. We want to, before next Wednesday, because these calls are every Wednesday. So before Wednesday, you want to make sure that you at least have a strategy to make sure that that's done. Okay. The second thing on the checklist is
Sorry,
my
sorry, Tantili, can you repeat number one, please?
yeah, is I have a clear, repeatable process for how a client moves from first contact with you to a completed service with you. And this is also, if you go in the group and you go to classroom, all the everything that I'm going to be working on for the first for the whole 4 weeks is on that sheet, and it's the name of it is, let me look at the name of it real quick. Well, just go. It's only one thing there so far, so just go and peruse, look around. But so that's the first thing. And then the second thing is my clients know exactly what to expect and when without having to ask. Okay. So that's going to be important for us to create a strategy there. And when I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to me because I fell off for a minute and I'm getting back on this. So um the next thing to make sure you're checking off your checklist is I have a system for following up after every service delivery, not just during it. So that's your follow-up system. Okay. Another thing you want to make sure you're checking off your checklist is my intake process gathers what I actually need before I begin working with someone. And the last one is I could hand my current process to another practitioner and they could follow it. That's how you know you got it together. Okay. That's how you know. All right. So here are two reflection questions on the client journey. Then we're going to move on to service delivery. Where in your client journey do people get confused, stall, or drop off? Where in your client journey do people get confused, stall, or drop off? And the second reflection question is, what part of your delivery process still lives only in your head and not written down anywhere? All right, I'm gonna give us a little time to reflect. Uh-oh. Up here. All right, before I move on to section 2, anything anybody want to share? Any reflections?
Just a reminder of the work that I have to do.
Right. Okay, so here is our daily operations and our time and time systems. Okay. You want to make sure the first thing is on this checklist is I know on any given day what my top priority actually is. Okay. The second thing to make sure you're checking off your checklist. And again, this is if I'm going too fast or you want to make sure you're taking your time to reflect on it, this whole thing is in the group, in the classroom. No, it's not in classroom, it's in the it's in the classroom. Okay, so my calendar reflects how I actually want to spend my time, not just what's urgent. That one kind of got me a little bit. Something else to check off between now and next Wednesday when we meet again is I have protected time for deep work, not just reactive tasks. Something else to check off is I have a consistent weekly rhythm I can rely on rather than rebuilding my schedule from scratch each week. Another one is I know which daily tasks are actually moving my business forward and which are just busy work. All right, and the last, these are the 2 reflection questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Walk through yesterday or the last time you had a work day. Where did the time or energy leak away from what actually mattered? And what's the difference right now between being busy and being productive in your business? Those are the reflection questions. Okay. So those are the things that we want to section. If you look at the audit, it's section 1 and section 2 that we're working on from now until next Wednesday. And then we'll start working on the next 2 sections. So that is today. So again, I don't want to be giving too much information. I trust you guys will let me know if this was too much information or what I need to take out or whatever. But I just want to make sure that we're actually doing the work and not just saying it. I want to make sure we're doing the, I'm Capricorn rising, so actually doing the physical thing is important for me as much as doing the spiritual thing. So so that is completes our lunar living live for today. Did anyone want to share anything before we wrap it up and go today?
Um, I just want to say thank you because these questions, oh, is really helping me reflect on a lot of things, and it's so it's so in alignment specifically with my business and the way that I want to move forward. And so
Hmm.
I'm excited to be able to dive into these questions and really really reflect, on the business as a
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah. I know I got to do just about everything that's on there. So 'cause so I'm gonna be working with on it with y'all. So I'm really excited about this. This is what I needed, and I'm glad it's what you guys needed too. So I'm excited to see what next week is gonna bring. So next week I want to see how I want to do this. I want to start doing this a week ahead instead of like on the same day or a day before uh the actual moon phase, because I want to focus on the new moon, the waxing moon, the full moon, and the last quarter moon or the waning moon. But I want to do it like a week ahead. So instead of where next Wednesday would be me focusing on the last quarter moon, I'm still going to put some information about that in the group, but I'm going to skip ahead to what the new moon is going to mean for us so that we can be better prepared, um, and have more time to reflect and see what we need to do to make sure we maximize this energy. So just so you guys know. So yeah. So if we're not sharing anything else, I'm going to go ahead and end this. And I appreciate both you guys. I love both of y'all from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate y'all for being here.
Thank
And
you. Can I just say as well that yeah, this is really, I know coaches need coaches, and so this is great for me because I know the things that I need to do. It's nothing new, but it's nice when I like to be the student sometimes and not always the teacher. So it's nice to work with someone else's resources so that I feel like
right. Right, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel when like as soon as you say, "Well, I posted something," because I watched your workshop, and I was like, I'm gonna have to sit down and chew on that. So usually I like to listen to things like 3 times in a row. So
Mm.
Andrea also has a community on school. What's the name of your community on school?
Live life by your design, which is about
Live life by your design.
human design
Yeah.
and a sprinkle of astrology. Like this is where I come from. I come to Chantilly for my astrology. I'm still learning, but yeah,
Oh, yes, the human design. How
Mm-hmm.
exciting.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
because I know that I'm not operating my business within the context of my human design, which is why I think I have so many challenges. So
Mm.
I need, maybe I'm gonna have to join your community just so that I
Definitely.
can, really fully understand how to operate within my manifester space.
Oh, you're a manifester as well. Oh yeah, please do come here
I
because the
am.
manifester, yeah, you're not just you're not a unicorn yet because the reflectors are, but you're like
Hmm.
after the reflectors, and so it is a lot about
Yeah.
I'm with manifestors. Sorry, Chantilly, is this okay? Having this
Yeah,
conversation.
fine. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
having
Share
I
amongst
find
yourselves. That we a group, we a community.
I feel like manifestors are not don't live in their design because we're the 70% of the population are generators, and so more than likely your
Right.
parents are generators. And so what that basically means is that you try to emulate what generators do, when manifestors are here to inform and to tell people what's
Yeah.
actually happening. But if you're not used to doing that, it may come across as you being rude and telling people what to do, but you're not. You're informing them.
Hmm.
That's how you
Hmm.
get along in life. And I had a partner who was a manifester, and it was really hard to work with when I didn't realize what he was. And then when I realized he was a manifester, it was easier to understand, okay, your aura may be a bit repelling for other people if they don't understand how you operate as an individual. And obviously, it's not just about
Right.
your type. There's so many other things that make up in terms of human design that yeah,
Yes.
it can go so much. It can go really deep with it. But
Yeah.
I feel like having a mixture of both what I do and what Chantilly does with the astrology, yeah, you can't go wrong.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm so excited to be just like here today on this call with the both of you, and just so much wisdom. I can just feel the wisdom, and with what I am doing, supporting people. So the informing part is I feel like I fall right into that, and folks know that that's just who I am, and that's just who I am, intuitively. Um, I think it's the emulation, trying to squeeze myself into these other boxes that I was told that I have to be, or
Mhm.
and that's the part that's hard. And Chantilly is really helping me to understand my astrological chart so that I can like understand what's happening cosmically with me, and then me pairing that with my studies of human design with my 4-1, my manifestor 4-1, and
You're
my
community based, and you're like myself and Chantilly. We have a line one in our chart as well. So like we like to do the research
Mhm.
and and
Yeah,
go on
yeah,
journeys. I don't call them rabbit holes anymore. I just go on research journeys.
yeah.
Oh, that feels
Pe-
better. That feels better.
Yeah.
I like the research journeys. I have friends that say, "Oh gosh, here she goes Googling the things again." Like I'm like, "No, wait, I must know. I must know. I have to know."
Right.
Like,
And then do you
so,
have a community? Because the line four is about community. Like you build communities, and like you have an innate ability for people to just flock to you without you even trying.
mhm.
Yeah.
I do work within a community. I think that my visibility is not where it should be yet.
Mm.
The power of
Mhm.
yet. So
Right.
there's some things that some shadows that I need to work through, because I have people saying like, when are you doing your because I host sessions for sound therapy, and I couple it with like nervous system regulation, movement, and I create experiences. So I create them
Mhm.
for businesses and for the community, and I I have yet to um, to be as consistent as I should be with my self promotion, and so that's really where I'm growing. And so Chantilly has given me some good questions for me to work through some of the shadow pieces. And I think as I, take these next couple of weeks to really reflect, I'll be able to see my path.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You're on it,
This is
so that's good.
powerful for both of y'all because okay, so Renisha has Pisces in her first house, and the opposite sign of Pisces is Virgo, and Andrea has a
Mhm.
Virgo stellium. So I know you guys have some type of connection.
Wow. I feel it already because it's like there's the synergy in what we do, and yeah,
Hmm.
this makes a lot of sense. This is beautiful.
Hmm.
Can't wait to see how in the next 6 months how we transform, and that yet
Hmm.
comes now.
Yes, the power of yes,
Yes,
the
yes,
power of
yes.
And it becomes the power of now.
right, right, right. I love that. Let the power of yet become the power of now.
Yeah,
I really love
yeah.
that.
That that's what the routines are going to make happen. That's what
Mhm,
digging and digging into that Virgo energy. That's what's going to bring that that yet into now, or what I've been thinking about, or what I've been imagining. That's what's going to ground that Pisces energy, that imaginative, creative, spiritual energy is going to ground it into how can we do this consistently? How can we do this in a way that the devil trying to get me? So, Yeah, but how can we do this consistently and make this our imagination or our spirituality? How can we make it reality? So I know that for all three of us, we're going to see a major changes if we stay consistent with getting our routines together.
Hmm. And
I
then
think
how
it's
do I find y'all on school? It's so synergistic because Shantali, before it was that same week that you told me that you created a school community. I was looking at
Mhm.
my school account, like, why do I still have this? I'm not even doing anything. And something said, don't delete it yet.
Wow.
And
O-
yeah,
Okay. Well, I can send you the link.
okay.
Um, and I'm about to change it too because I was just in a group this morning and she was saying that a lot of people can't find our groups because we have cute names and don't just say flat out what it is. So I'm going to change my
Um,
name like either today or tomorrow. But right now it's
okay.
called Rooted in Abundance, and I'm going to send you the link again. And Andrew, you want to say the name of yours again, or you want to send her the link, or can you put it in the chat?
in the chat. So here is, hold on, 1 minute. Got to copy now. That is rooted in abundance,
Oh,
and
look at you putting mine in there.
and then
Join group. Let's see.
this is my community. Yeah, coming over. It's still work in progress, but I feel like I'm getting there. It's yeah, yeah, it's cool. There's things in the community and
Okay.
culture and stuff that you can get on with as well. So
Okay. I just requested to join both groups.
perfect. I shall let you,
Uh,
I shall let you in. Okay.
let's see. Is
Mine is
that
still public for
While
now, so you
while we're
shouldn't
waiting for
be.
that, while we're waiting for you to do that, Renisha. So talking about the daily routines, that is something that I've been thinking about with my Taurus, my Chiron in Taurus in the sixth house was about.
Yeah, it's a sticky
So
point.
this is like, oh my gosh, it is something that I had really been thinking about, but now doing this work with you now, it's going to make it intentional. I really do. As much as I don't like routines, I need the structure.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I say with my Chiron, my retrograde Chiron in Taurus too, what Taurus represents just routines, like our routines. Okay.
Mhm.
But Virgo is like our daily work routine, specifically like what do we do consistently for work.
Mm.
So
Okay.
so that I know that Renisha, you probably have your Chiron in Taurus too. I don't know if it's
I,
retrograde or
I
not.
don't know.
I can send you. I've got the what do you call it? The
The
Chiron,
journal.
not even the journal, just the link that you can check to see where your Chiron is.
Hmm.
Okay.
Give information. Yeah, so I'll guide you to that when you get when I send you in the when I text. I've got your
Thank,
community.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Mm.
I don't know why my thing on school is called Leadership in Rhythm.
Oh, I didn't know you had
And
one. Leadership in
yeah,
rhythm.
but I didn't do anything with it because I just signed up. I signed up because I was planning to create, um, just try to create a community, but I didn't. So I haven't set up a group. That's just like my name.
You have a profile. Okay.
Yeah.
I
I've
don't
just
I don't even know if I have a profile. I don't know.
you do. I've
Okay.
put it in the group, so yeah, you must have. So Renisha, I've just in the in the chat, I've just put in there how to find your Chiron.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to think.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
now
gonna
is
do that.
it this is your site? I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh. So
Uh,
just put my name and email address.
Yeah, and then it'll open up into another space where you can put in your details.
Okay.
And
First
then,
name.
but yeah, this has been great, Chantilly. I love this. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now, yeah, so I don't want it to end, but it does have to end.
I know, right?
And but okay, so but while y'all are here, did I give you, do you feel like I gave too much information? Because I kind of like the structure, but I don't want to give too much information.
No. Personally, I think it was great. Like, I feel if you didn't give us this, then how else would you give it to us? And then me trying to go away and doing it, it wouldn't transpire. So maybe even saying, okay, instead of this being a six, saying it is a 90-minute session, so that you just know that you're locked in for that. I'm locked in regardless. Like I'm here for ever.
Okay.
But if you
Yeah.
just I feel like for you, if you state that it's a 90-minute session, that I feel you're more feeling, I don't know, I'm just assuming, feeling not guilty, but a bit more conscious of the fact that you've gone over the time that you specified.
Um, yeah. Yeah, and I don't think I think that I felt like it was just like a long time of just me sitting here talking and well, I don't want to get into my stuff, but yeah.
But I think I like the fact that you was talking, but then it also allowed us to chip in and say what we needed to say as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel with this
Okay.
work, there isn't anything else. You just give it all. You're giving it all what you're giving it. I feel like because I think the longest part is probably going through each of the rising signs.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm
So,
gonna lock into this template. Go ahead, Renisha.
um, I was just gonna say I don't think it's too. I also don't think it's too much information. I think that because I don't understand a lot of the astrological things yet. Um, I'm just listening and picking up on the meaning behind it. So when
Okay.
you talk about the Chiron and you talk about the houses, I don't really have a frame of references to like what those things mean. So I listen to like when you say my 12th house, I'm like, I don't know exactly what that means. But then you describe it. You're like in your 12th house and it means this. So for
Okay.
me, it's listening to the meaning um, in the terminology. And so because of that, that's just my starting point, right? Um,
Okay.
and I heard something really beautiful once that really our all of our audiences are truly are people who are either between 1 to 5 steps behind us in knowledge, not people who are 100 steps behind us in knowledge, right?
Right.
So you speaking the way that you do and you explaining it in this thorough way is perfect because it's in alignment with you and those that need to hear your message will hear it. That's just how I see it.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the structure that I'm going to keep it in for right now.
Yeah. Um,
All right.
and then I'm trying to fill this out for the Chiron, but it won't let me put 22 in the date of birth. It only let me put 2. I don't know why.
I'm in the
Like I
U.
can't.
I'm in the UK, so I do it. Our dates are different, so it's day, month, month.
Oh, here
Yeah.
we go. I was like, why won't it let me do it? Because I wasn't reading. That's why. I just was being hasty. I was hastily.
But yeah,
Um,
I don't want to take over
thank you.
Shanta's call with this. So do you want to
Thank you,
message?
Shantoni.
Yeah, and you can message me, Renisha, on school, and then we can. Yeah,
Okay, sounds
yeah.
good.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
I'll be posting this in the group and I will be talking to you guys individually, I know. So I appreciate
All
y'all
right.
coming out today.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
All right, y'all too.
Bye bye.